When the volcano erupted, it's original. The other half of the statue is the next one. Okay? It's a reconstruction. You can see some cement, so some mortar, not original mortar, on the left hand. Few months ago, go down there. Now we cannot go there anymore.
Nope, I don't remember being.
You can see the replicas of the bodies are here through the arches. Maybe at the Roman time, these arches was maybe the armory of the city down there. That's why. You see it, guys? That's a theory. Because some people, back in the past, some archaeologists, some people, some scientists, they thought that the volcano was you can really see the construction. But it's not. You really see the construction. That's a lot. Pompeii and Herculaneum. The earthquake was, warning the next eruption. After the earthquake, they invented something like that. What is this? What is the shape of the stone? Diamond, right? Diamond, square. The squared stones, they make a very big honeycomb, right? The honeycomb was a Roman building technique. It was called opus reticulatum. Opus, work. Reticulatum, net work. They realized back at the Roman time, making stones in this way made it stronger and more flexible. Earthquake-proof technique. Think about that, guys. The weight of each single stone is distributed from one side to this side, that side to this side, vice versa, from top to bottom. This actually is not original because that's the new material, you can see it. I will show the new one. By the way, but normally the Roman houses had a garden in the back. There was always a garden in the back. After the 62 AD, maybe the owner of the house, of this house, he completely changed. The altar was called Sacrarium. Sacrarium was a place where they put the statues of their ancestors. Here we are at the private area of the house, private room. The mosaic is original. The fresco up there is original. That's a fresco. It's a mural. Was a painting, wall painting. You see up there. The fresco you see behind me also is original. You see behind me there. Look at the fresco behind there. Very thick. In the middle is a kind of architectural structure, and in the middle you see a tree trunk. You can see the tree trunk, and what you have above the tree trunk is a peacock. It's a peacock. The peacock was a symbol of aristocracy, was a symbol of immortality. The peacock was also a symbol of motherhood. When a peacock opens his wings, you can see many eyes in. The eyes of a peacock look after the children of the house. Yes. No, that's a painting. That in Pompeii you're gonna see lots of them. Here we see just few of them. Why? Because here was a resort, as I said. Pompeii was a very big marketplace. Look, this is the counter. That's the counter. That's this counter. We have the marble is original. In the counter we have terracotta pots. You see? Terracotta. Why we have terracotta pots in here? Terracotta keeps the heat. It's a very good conductor. That's why they put their food in here. So guys, what did they eat? Fish? What else? Olives. What else? Bread. I have a question, guys. Do they have tomatoes?
No.
Why? Tomato where is
Came
from?
from
New World. America. Central America and South America.
It's water?
No, that's a public toilet.
Oh, toilet.
That's a public toilet.
It's a
Look,
little attracts
that's
water.
a place where they sit down, or
Yeah.
like something else. I mean, they reading their newspaper, and it's a public toilet, and the water flew down in here, flashing everything down to the ocean. The ocean was that way, that's why. So guys, this one here, the building we're going in now was a thermal bath. It's a spa, all right? So normally the thermal baths, so normally the public baths, they were next to the spas. This building, I mean, the whole building is for a spa. The whole building. The spas were separated in a male section, female section. I'll show you both. I'll first show you
Just
the
the
male
male
section
section?
now, but that's not for this reason. I mean, I'll show you why we know what's for men, this building. And we have a men's section here and a female section here. Medallions. That's this one. Yeah, look, the first floor here was the men's section. Now, first question, my question is, do you know what spa means? S-P-A, literally. I'm not asking what the spa was, what the spa means. You know that? SPA is a Latin acronym. Comes from Salus per Aqua, health through water. That's what spa means. Normally, guys, all the thermal baths, as I told you, they were separated into two sections. Here we are into the male section. We know that's a male section because originally this room had this section had. The mosaic you see on the floor, it's beautiful mosaic. It's a beautiful mosaic here. Guys, the floor originally was not, I mean, the floor was like that. The original floor, the original level of the floor was the original level of the floor was basically here. That's the original level, what you have. That's the original level of the floor. The floor has been dropped down. Okay? Guys, now listen. Here, the floor was solid at the time. Underneath here, there has squared brick pillars. The pillars held up the subfloor. The subfloor was made of terracotta, partially terracotta. Terracotta was in here. Terracotta keeps the heat. It's a very good conductor. Next to this building, there was a cistern with a hot water in. The hot water was heated by fire. The water flew down here underneath, making hot steam. The hot steam passing under the terracotta double floor. Through terracotta double walls, the entire heating the room where we are. Radiant heating system.
Just now we're going to visit the mill.
Guys, we take the right now, okay? Just watch your step there, we take the right. female section. Look at the beautiful mosaic floor you see here, my darlings. Darlings. Keep coming, guys. Mosaics. Again, that's the original mosaic, that's the original floor dress. You can see something represented like a labyrinth on the floor, or almost something kind of swastika there. Swastika was not a negative symbol back at the Roman time. Swastika was a very positive symbol. So that ancient time meant the circle of life. Now crazy people changed it, but no, the meaning was a positive meaning. Guys, I don't know if you can see what you see here on the floor.
So what I think it is?
This. There's a penis. You see that on the floor? This penis is a symbol of fertility here. Fertility, prosperity, right? That's why. And also there, on the other side, looks like a penis with wings. It's not representing a penis with wings, it's representing the fallopian tubes. Again, fertility about Roman houses. And I will tell you also why that is very important. This house here, guys, it's a very important house. I didn't tell you the name of the house. I will tell you in a minute. But first, guys, these are all the Roman houses. They were normally separated into sections. There was the atrium, and there was the place where the family lived. That's the standard idea of a house. Okay, atrium, peristyle, as a place where the family lived, was there in the back. The atrium was a public place. It was a place where the owner hosts here guests, right? The guests were not only nice people. Sometimes they were politicians. They came here to ask political favor to the owner, depending on what the owner did. Anyway, in the middle of the atrium, there was always this square in the back where they collected the water in. The water was collected from the open sea. The water came through there, drain water, came down here, through the holes, the water drained out in the cistern, was underground. Right? When the cistern was filled, there was also a well there, where also there was a filtration. That's how they got their water. Before the construction of the aqueducts, when they get the aqueducts, they didn't need this as a water source anymore. That's why it changed in a fountain. That's why one year the root changed to a fountain. Originally, this table was not here. Originally, this table was there in between. Why? This room in between was called the tablinum, tabula table. The place where they put the table is a kind of reception. In this way, all people coming here, they could bring gifts to the owners. And the owner could keep this room open or closed anytime he decides.
So these are really rich people because they had a bedroom.
Between Pompeii and Herculaneum, we only found the rich people. So what I mean, only lived rich people here. Why? Herculaneum. How do we know that? We can understand that by the style, by the frescoes style. For example, if you get your house, you'll see on the right and left here is a kind of painting on the left and right. This painting looks like a stucco draft imitating the marble. This is stucco draft imitating the marble. It's called the first style. First style, what's your step? First style is the first style used between Pompeii and Herculaneum when the two places were founded at 89 BC. So guys, that's not a house. Or everything you see, sometimes something you see on top of it has been reconstructed, okay? Because all of this fell, right? That's why it's the reconstruction. You have to imagine, here they had the bottom, up here there was a kind of portico, kind of patio. The water came through there from the open ceiling. On one side there was the servant area, there was a second floor on one side of the house, but the best of this house is the cover you see right in front of us. That's cover, because I don't know if you can see it. On the bottom here, you can see it's yellow, right? It's yellow there on the bottom. Guys, now let's just imagine the frescoes that they used were very thick plastic. The last layer, there were 5 layers. Last layer was wet, and that's painted on the white plastic. The colors were all minerals, like yellow was ochre, red was cinnabar, the blue was lapis lazuli, the lapis ones, right? So guys, what happened is, I don't know if you can see, right over there, you can see the yellow on the bottom, and in between you can see orange. Now, what do you have orange? The orange that you see there is in mixed colors. In the middle, the orange was a color during the eruption. Why? Because the yellow maybe, they had a base of iron, right? It's not oxidation. I mean, because of the heat wave, changed it in the red. That's why.
Oh ja.
Zie je dat? Zo. Kom even tussendoor.
Ja, dat mag.
Left. Right, that's the original mosaic there before. And also you can see on the left side a beautiful fountain with the beautiful decorations depicting fish, depicting deer, depicting peacocks there on the left. This room here was made after a reconstruction made after the 62 AD, when the garden was replaced with a open dining room. You see it down here. Oops, sorry.
Go inside and feel enjoy the gladiator contest. Ok? Andiamo, si vede.
E il nome del disegno e il prezzo scritto stava scritto.
Guys, look at this. Any other about this letters? You know, so we are having to compare with the origins. The Berkers were excellent. They were formal. Electric, they were exactly. But they were. So called by at the Roman time was called the gymnasium. Gymnasium was a gym, right? Was a place where they worked out. Okay. The gym was connected to the forum, which is not far from here. That's where the forum was not far from here. Now let me see. So guys, very important. We have on Pompeii 60% excavated, 40% is not excavated. And what you see down there, the green area, just belongs to the 40% not excavated. So it's a little portion belonging to the 40% still underneath. There's a green area where the trees are here. So Romans came here at the 89 BC, and that's where you see the walls here. Then you see the rectangular stones. They were walls, right? Ancient walls.
Quando la trovate in verticale a sinistra il gioco è rimasto
Pompeii was of course town. That's important. Pompeii was a very wealthy city. Okay? Okay, darling. Obviously, the stones, the static stones, ski bumps was something you can see in the Herculaneum. Why? Because Herculaneum was a North American city. When Herculaneum was not as big as Pompeii. That's why they didn't need stepping stones. Forum was the town square. Guys, look at this. That's the big Grand Plaza. In Herculaneum, we couldn't see the forum. You remember that, right? Why? Because the forum in Herculaneum was underneath, was underground. We finally, you can see the forum. We have the temple of the Jupiter. So guys, what do you have in a forum? In a forum is kind of a town square. In the town square, we have the churches now. So here we have the market place. Here we have political buildings. That's very similar back of the Roman time. What I mean? Christians, I already told you that, guys. The Christians, many. Guys, here, hello. Don't give up on me. Market, fish and meat. In the middle of the market, we found a very big altar. That's a big altar was found here. There was an altar up there. There in the back there was another altar. So this altar was for the gods. They used to bring offerings for the god of commerce. There in the back, that altar was for the emperors. Because I told you, when the emperors died, they became gods. That's why they used to bring here offerings for the gods and also the honors to the emperors. That's why two altars here. All around here, guys, they were all vendors. All vendors. All these stalls, they were vendor stalls. You see them behind me. And in the vendor stalls, we found the terracotta pots. The pottery here is original. Guys, some of these pots, they are pointed on the bottom. You can see why? Because they put in here, so because the wagons were huge wagons, they had holes above. This way, these terracotta, they could fit into the holes, and when the wagons moved, they didn't break. That's why it was pointed, they had pointed terracotta pots. archaeologists who actually did it. Shops too, so we are outside the market. And guys, okay, my darlings, and what do you see there on the wall?
Another penis?
It's another penis. Can you see it? We found a lot of penises here in Pompeii. But this one here has nothing to do with the weird things you're thinking about now. This happiness here again is symbol of fertility and prosperity. Why? It was put here on the wall because the owner of the house there in the back also was the owner of the shop, so he had a business in front of it. So he put these on the wall because he wished to get the more fertility and prosperity. Fertility, children. Children, workers. Workers, money. Now we spend money for them. Let's have a job.
Wow. Yeah. Is that hard rock?
Yep.
Ah.
The rock, actually the rock here is not very hard on feel.
It's not granite?
It's not granite, that's not basalt either. This one here is called trachyte. Trachyte is a volcanic stone.
Oh, okay.
Wheel tracks here, another McDonald's here. Yeah. So the Burger King.
Oh, yeah.
Ready here. They can you see here these are big stones. They were milled. Milled. They put the wheat in there. Alright? They're named, were not numbered. All the marble plaques you see here on the walls are not legible. All the marble plaques you see on the walls were put here by archaeologists. Streets of Pompeii were not named. How? Depicting all the time something different. Profile of ladies, mythological figures, animals. That's why they knew where they were, following decorations above the fountain. So guys, that's why when you put the right here.
Okay, so now we show the right.
The house here, any political power, they could be just rich. As soon as you get in the house, have a look on the right, on the wall on the right, because you can see a fresco depicting a man with oversized attributes. It's oversized attributes. So this man was not the owner. This guy was Priapus. Priapus is the god of fertility and prosperity. He's wedding is attribute. On the other side, on the scale, we are on the other side, money. So that's why I said fertility and prosperity. It's here.
L'unica cosa dentro non entrate tutti insieme, cioè che li fai entrare un po' alla volta. Cioè qui potete entrare.
Allora, posso fare io faccio un po' di tiro qua e poi quando poi esco. Private door. It's the servant area of the house. Why? The prostitution, they say, was one of the service that this owner gave to people coming here to visit him. The people coming here to visit him were normally politicians, as I said, coming here to ask political favors. Well, we found a brothel right there in the corner. If you go in, you can see on the left side we have a kitchen where they cooked, where the servant worked, and on the right side we have the proper brothel. How do you know it was a brothel? Because we found frescoes depicting the sex positions. Sex positions worked like a menu at that time. It was a kind of happy meal. Happy meal because they didn't have to touch it like
Little guy in distress.
Wine merchants picking grapes, walking on dress. You guys are hanging on the bar, free. Pompeii was under the protection of the Venus. You know, the main was the main ones was the Venus, which is the triumph of Venus. And the last one is just the wine merchants, you know, buying and selling. But it's interesting to see the shape of the jars, the amphoras, ending with a pet, with a point. Mm-hmm.
Palace. Palace?
It's a palace, almost. Yeah, it's still painting, even if it looks marble, that's painting. Look at this, the huge house. Hmm? You have still like the cubicle. So guys, you have to close the umbrella in here. Yeah, because you cannot, otherwise you can damage the pictures. Look. Okay. Here we are in the atrium. And here.
Stai fuori, stai fuori.
If you want to know what Alexander the Great's palace looked like, probably something like that.
Oh, that's good. Okay, this house here is the only house where you can see two gardens. Okay, the first one,
like Minecraft,
the second one. So guys, between. Even the floor. That's the place where we found the musical instruments. We found flutes in this place, right here. And if you go to the archaeological museum, they make music, they make here and so here. That's why there is a distinction. But normally you can get it. But this deer has the 80% not original here. 80% not original. It's the opposite. You know? This space here used to be the foyer. I mean, where the so of the theater at the beginning, and then was changed under Augustus' time. Was changed in a gladiator training area.
Oh, really?
Not the gladiators.
This place here.
This place here. There were always little rooms.
Oh.
Which running here
Oh, I
used
see.
to be shops first, and
Yeah.
then gladiator bars.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the special section here. Really see it. I think it's
If you just do like Moses, you open the water, spread it, and go through.
So what happened? Those 5.2 guys sent a loud